You shall not pass this video because this is gonna be something different. This is the very first LEGO The Lord of the Rings Book Nook. But is there any functions in it? And how big is this going to be? Let's find out. My name is Zoltan. Let's build. Alright, so after many Lord of the Rings sets, this is the first Book Nook edition, which is kinda strange to me, but hey, at least something new. This is an 18+ set number 1036-7, and it contains 1201 pieces, and it retails for 129.99 USD or 119.99 euros, so the price to piece ratio is horrible, around 10 or 11 cents. If I flip the box over, we can see the whole purpose of this thing and this size. This will be 17.5 inches wide and 8.5 inches tall. Okay, so we have 9 numbered bags, this whip piece to the Balrog and his wings as well, and here's the manual, which will be 204 pages long, and just like usual we have some background information about this scene and about this whole new concept, this LEGO Book Nook thingy, but that's it. So nothing else to do, I'm gonna start this build right now and let's see those tiny details, and I'm especially curious about this fiery thingy here. Is there any lighting mechanism behind this or not? I don't know. Let's find out.
A wizard is never late. Frodo Baggins, nor he is early. He arrives precisely when he needs to. I am a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Anor. The dark fire will not avail you, flame of Ujar. It shall not pass. It shall not pass. Fly, you fool. Through fire and water, from the lowest dungeon to the highest peak, I fought with the Balrog of Morgoth. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Then do not be too eager to deal out death in judgment. Not. It shall not pass. You shall not. It shall not pass. Fly, you fool.
So where should I start? Honestly, I like this concept. Not that the Lord of the Rings team needed a huge innovation, there aren't that many sets in the first place, but we've never seen something like this in the LEGO world before. However, the execution, let's just say it didn't turn out great. At least to me. But before we dive into the details, let's see the building process. So the build started with the narrow bridge, which didn't have many surprises, and that pretty much applies to the whole set. No clever building techniques or interesting parts were used. Then came the Book Nook's spine, which is basically just a big hole, followed by one of the doors with the fiery elements, then the other one, which is identical but mirrored. The final task was building the Balrog. First the body, then the legs, wings, which will be posable by the way, and finally the head. And with that, the set is complete. The set comes with only one minifigure, Gandalf the Grey. Now, if you're expecting a new version of our wizard, I have to disappoint you. None of these parts are unique. Since the Lord of the Rings line was revived, starting with the Rivendell set, this is the same print we've been getting. Maybe the most recent element is his face, which was introduced this year in the Bag-End set. That said, the figure is fully authentic. He can hold both of his weapons, so he can block the Balrog just like in the movie. And if you are curious how he looks without his beard, well, like this. But now let's talk about the Book Nook thingy. Now the set itself isn't that small. When opened, this 1200 piece Book Nook stands over 8.5 inches tall, 17.5 inches wide and 6.5 inches deep. But as you can see in the footage, it feels pretty empty. I think they could have added way more detail into the walls, the spine, basically everywhere. To me it feels unfinished. But there are some interesting parts. For example, there is the quote from the scene, and thankfully this is the printed part, not the stickered. In fact, the set doesn't include any stickers. I also like the more real details. Those pillars, for example, perfectly match to the movie. It's really well done. When it closed, the Balrog's wings fold in between the main walls. Even from this side, it doesn't look that bad. But realistically, you'll never see this view if you use it as intended. And what's that? You place the set between your books and voila! A cool little Lord of the Rings decoration. Although this one screams for lighting. A few red LEDs can add much more depth to this set. But no, not even those lighting bricks. Yet again, a missed opportunity. But the set can open up like a book. And notice how massive it gets this way. It could really reveal some cool details, if there were any. But there aren't, just a few flame-like pieces here and there. So yeah, this is definitely not the most detailed set I've ever seen. At least the opening and closing mechanism is smooth, the locking mechanism is hidden at the top and the bottom, blending in nicely with the dwarven mine walls. And there is still one thing we haven't talked about, which could have been a best part of the set if it were just a bit more detailed. The Balrog itself. The size is spot on, it towers nicely over Gandalf, but still, it could have used a little more detail. Don't get me wrong, the model not that bad, it's missing that extra spark. Interestingly, you'd think the figure stands on its legs, but no, it's actually hanging from its wings in the back. Even the wingtips have designated spot in the wall. And fun fact, this wing element was used before in another Lord of the Rings set, the Fell Beast Gifted Purchase set. And when you open it, you really get that vibe of the Balrog spreading its wings. But I don't know, he looks a bit goofy to me. Oh, by the way, the whip in his hand is book accurate, because they have made sure it has those iconic 3 strands. And of course, you can remove this figure from the diorama and display it separately. The usual parts move, so it functions like every other LEGO action figure, because this Balrog basically a LEGO action figure. So to sum it all up, I like this new concept. Finally something new we haven't seen before. Although in this case, this innovation wasn't really needed. This isn't the Harry Potter theme where everything already exists in some form, but the execution just doesn't work for me. Too few details, the whole thing feels unfinished, and again, no lighting. This fiery theme was begging for a few red LEDs. At full retail price, forget it. But if you find it on sale, go for it. So guys, now it's your turn. What do you think of this set? Do you like this new Book Nook theme? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like what you saw, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!